The prophet describes the events that happened to us from the beginning of our arrival in the tomb so beautifully that when you hear them, you are both calm inside and terrified, because when our acquaintances move away from our tomb and we hear their footsteps, and one alone we will have such events that when you hear them, you will say to yourself, which of these will I experience, good events or scary events? If you are ready to see a clip that you must see before you die, stop before watching this video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and click the bell button, and to support us, all you have to do is like this video, and then join the Secret of the World channel. Like any other living thing, we will die when the time comes, and whoever is alive is being tested by good and evil. God Almighty has created this world and death to test us. Now we want to know when the angel of death takes our lives. What is happening to us, and what steps are you going through? Are you not curious about this? The Holy Prophet has explained this matter to us in great detail. Now let us see what will happen to the Prophet one day when one of these things happens to us. He was at a personal tomb, and when they reached the tomb they were sitting towards the Qibla, and the Prophet hit the ground with his staff and looked at the sky, said that we should seek refuge in God from the torment of the grave, and then he repeated it 3 times. Save the torment of the grave, and continue. Undoubtedly, our Prophet had a lot of information about death, and it was here that the Prophet recounted them all one by one. He compared 2 different people, one of whom is on the right path and towards God, and in the world according to evil lives, and the other was a person who moved in exactly the opposite direction and will be punished in the hereafter. First, he explained about the righteous man. If I give you an example for this, you are a faithful and upright human being who, when he dies in this world, you lose. Angels descend from the sky for you, their faces shining like stars, and they bring with them a number of things. One of them is a very good smell that you have never inhaled on earth. This group brings you from the sky, and the other is a shroud that these angels are brought to heaven. When they come to you from the sky, they sit at a distance that you can see with your own eyes, and then the angel of death descends from the sky to take your soul. It captures you. The moment your soul separates from your body, all the angels pray for you, and then the angels who came to you put you in the shroud of heaven and smell it very well here. It happens that, as I'm going to tell you in another video, in the 7-story sky clip, all the doors of the heavenly floors open for you one by one. Now all the heavenly doors are waiting for you, and you will taste this pleasure. Your angels, you go up to the heavens together. The higher you go, the more angels you see. When they meet you, they ask the angels next to you who this beautiful soul is. The angels introduce you to the other angels, and when they reach the floor, first you get warm. The first floor opens for you. The door opens and you go in. When you go to the next heavens, the rest of the doors open for you. When you go from floor to floor, the angels chase you away nicely. Finally, we are in the 7th heaven. He will not create them and return them to the earth when the day of resurrection comes, but once again they will be pulled out of the earth. And when your soul is on the 7th floor watching these events, your lifeless body on the earth is waiting for the imminent moment above your tomb. It is a corpse. For the command of God, the angels will bring you to earth from the 7th floor of the sky once again. If there is someone at your grave, when they go to their houses, you will hear the footsteps of them. At this moment, 2 angels with the letters of good and evil are coming towards you with shouts and shouts. They are 2 angels in black, and their eyes are blue. You answer all the questions correctly, and this is where God commands your grave to be wider and a bed prepared for you in heaven. Your grave will be about 35 meters wider than a very beautiful, fragrant, and luminous person will go to. I have come to tell you this. I have brought you good news that you will be very happy. Your grave is full of good smells that you have never inhaled in the world. At first, very beautiful clothes brought from heaven will be covered for you, and you will be covered by that person's beautiful face. You will enjoy and relax. You ask that person, "Who are you?" He said, "I am your beauty deed in the world." Terrible! Such a window is a window to hell. And this is where the person says, "If you did not obey God's commands, when the day of judgment comes, we should go here. But God has provided another place for you, and this is where another window opens for you. And where you have to go is here. The place you see from this window is paradise. Stay here and then leave. You must wait here until the day of judgment and look out of that window to heaven, but not everything may be so beautiful and peaceful, because if someone who is dead is not a person who does not deserve these beauties. What will happen to him will be very different, and we will consider every person who has not accepted God in this world. When the angel of death comes to take his life, he will take his life from him in a very painful way, and black angels will not come down from the sky. They will come and bring him a fiery garment from hell. Also give him a very strong odor that he has not inhaled until today. This fiery garment will be covered for him, and that very bad odor will be blown on him. Then the angels will lift him up from the earth, and they go to the heavens, but all the doors of the heavens to it is closed on him. The angels ask who the stinking person is. When we take him to the first heaven, if he does not open the door to them, he cannot go beyond it. And as is stated in the Quran, he says, when the camel cannot pass through the needle hole, they too cannot enter paradise. They reach the first floor. God commands the angels to write this man's book at the head of the battle and in the lowest position, and now take him to the earth, because I put them on. I created the earth, and on the day of resurrection will pull them out of the earth, and the soul of that person will be severely thrown out of the first floor of heaven and moved towards his body. When a person's acquaintances leave the tomb, it is the turn of angels who must interrogate him, and the disbeliever starts asking in a terrible voice. They ask him, "Who is your Lord?" And he has no answer, and he does not remember the answer. Wait, I do not know what the angels are telling him about, and who he is talking to, and he says he is the people talking about him. I know, but here God says he is lying. Prepare a place for him to sleep in hell from the fiery wind, then open a window next to his grave and go to his sleeping place, where they will wait until the day of judgment, and the gentleman has opened a window to heaven on the other side, and they will tell him, if we had obeyed God on the day of resurrection, the place is taken away, and then his grave gets narrower and narrower, so narrow that his chest collapses, and then in this narrow grave he will have a hard life, and then a stinking and ugly person will come. He says, "I have come here to say things to you." We do not like him. He asks who you are. He will soon realize the ugliness of his face. The stinking person says, "I am the ugly deeds that we did in this world." And that person became blind, deaf and dumb. He has an emptiness in his hand that if he eats the mountain they turn to dust, and then pound it on the dead person. I hit the whole body of a person into dust. At this moment, God turns the dust into a body again, but again, with the blow of a hammer, the body is turned into dust. With the second blow, a cry is raised from the person that the sound is heard by all beings except jinn. And when they hear it, they look at the window of hell again. When they see the window, they say, "Oh God, I wish there would never be a resurrection so that I would not go there." These were the words of the prophet explaining in detail the good things and the promise after death in his grave. Do not forget which larynx until the day of judgment, until the day when the angel of death arrives. The seed of Jerry is open to us. Always remember these words of the prophet about death. Do not forget, and we are the power of the prophet. Use the doors of divine grace are always open to us. Do not forget that death is always looking for us. But what are we looking for? Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, by typing the word object to show this video to your friends, and watch the videos, click on one of the newer and more attractive videos, and click on the channel photo to subscribe. Thanks.